And reality is really a key word in a lot of what I do, because I'm very much of the philosophy that if you argue with reality, you're always going to have problems.
Welcome to Female Founder Unplugged, the show where we cut through the noise and have a real, raw conversation about what it takes to build and scale a successful business as a female entrepreneur. I'm Lindsay White, people strategy expert, leadership coach, and fellow founder. And I know firsthand the challenges of scaling sustainably and staying connected to your passion along the way. This podcast is for ambitious women just like you, seasoned founders and CEOs navigating the challenges of leadership, team building, and sustainable growth. In each episode, we'll dive into those topics that are most important to you as a female founder. You'll hear honest, no BS conversations about building, growing, and leading a team and culture so that you can grow without losing yourself in the process. Because let's be real, entrepreneurship can feel isolating, and leadership doesn't come with a roadmap. If you've ever struggled with the pressure of running a business, felt overwhelmed by growing your team, or wondered, how do I scale without sacrificing my vision and my purpose, you're in the right place. Let's get unplugged. Hey, friends, welcome back to the Female Founder Unplugged podcast. And I got to tell you, this is going to be super de-duper unplugged today because I have my friend Sarah Kahn with me, and she is spicy and I like it. I am here for it. And we're going to have such a great conversation today because every time we talk, it is fire, as the kids like to say. So Sarah, welcome to the show. Glad to have you. Tell us about you.
Well, thank you so much. I like being called spicy because, I'm also a little bit savory, Spicy and savory.
Yes, a little savory. I like it.
I am savory. Once you have it, you want a little bit more. My name is Sarah Kahn. Thank you so much for having me. I'm a leadership strategist and empowerment strategist for women. I like to say that I turn your quiet excellence into out loud leadership. And I basically work with high achieving women who have generally been the backbone of other people's success, turn that quiet excellence into out loud power, influence, and legacy so that they can build the kind of visibility and leverage to choose what they want to do with the rest of their lives. Who am I to tell them what they should do with it? So it's all about power and choice.
Yeah, see, that's the spicy and the savory. I like that. I like that a lot. And this is why you and I hit it off like a house on fire, because we kind of approach the work from a very similar philosophy. It's not our job as coaches to tell people what they should or should not be doing. It's to help them reveal it, to uncover what is already present for them that they just might not be seeing or acknowledging. And I think that's where the power comes from, is the reality.
Yeah. And reality is really a key word in a lot of what I do, because I'm very much of the philosophy that if you argue with reality, you're always going to have problems, right? So everything that I do when I work with people is like, we first of all, we have to look at what you actually want. Like, are you actually doing what you want? Yeah. Because if you're not, it's always going to feel like a slog. And then you have to look at, okay, what are your goals? But we've got to look at them through the lens of your current existence. Like, everything hinges on the reality of your life and your circumstance. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that you can't achieve what you want to achieve, but your timeline and your methodology might look a little bit different than somebody else. And so it's really about keeping rooted in the reality of what's going on for you. And I think this is a big challenge. This is a big sticking point for me with a lot of coaches, consultants, whatever you want to call yourself, who sell methodologies that are like, if you do what I did, you'll have what I have.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. It doesn't work that way.
It's never worked that way.
And we need to start really calling it out when people are trying to cut and paste success. It doesn't work that way.
You know what? Thank you for saying that and calling that out really boldly, which is, what you do. Like, we get bombarded by that on social platforms in particular. I built a 6-figure business in 90 days. And if you do what my system, my $47 system, you will have the same thing I do. And most of the time, they don't even put a proviso at the bottom. Hey, this isn't typical. That is the problem.
Yeah. Which is why I don't like testimonials. I mean, okay, I like testimonials because they do speak to a result somebody got with you. But let's be honest, the testimonials we're sharing are from the top 1%, the A+ student that you worked through your program.
Yeah.
It's very atypical. These are not typical results.
Yeah.
And I think that, we need to start putting that disclaimer on. We need to holding people accountable to putting that disclaimer on, just like weight loss ads and medication ads. Like these results are not typical.
Yeah.
And you can't have the expectation going into any kind of relationship that this is typical. I mean, systems are wonderful, but they have to be adapted. This is a conversation that I have had with so many people who argue with me in the DMs and on social.
God.
That's what people do with me.
Yes.
But I've often said, like, I prefer one-to-one work because it allows you to tailor the process to that person's goals and circumstance and everything about them. And so I've often shied away from hosting group programs or, things because while they do have their place, I'm never going to say never have a group program. They're horrible. No, they're not. They work in certain contexts.
Yeah.
But you have to be very, very clear and honest about what you're going to be able to provide for somebody in a group setting. It can't be personalized to the degree that most people want.
Well, and I do some groups, and what I really try and focus on is that I am not necessarily always the smartest person in the room. That we can work together, we can crowdsource, we can brainstorm, that there's power in the individual experiences brought to a space of sharing and connection, and that we can add value for each other. And even listening to someone else's experience can broaden perspectives and give insight. Not that you're going to have the same results they had.
I love that you have said this because I think that is the differentiator. I think that's what's missing from the majority of masterminds and group programs out there.
Yes.
You are approaching it from more of a collaborative perspective.
Yes.
Like, I'm going to facilitate this.
Yes.
But it's a collaborative effort and we all learn from each other. Whereas a lot of people are basically speaking to a captive audience and saying, if you do it exactly this way, you're all going to have the same results. And if you don't, you didn't try hard enough, boo-boo.
Yes, it's your fault. It's your fault. It's so self-aggrandizing.
It really is.
I am better than you. I am the source of all knowledge and power. You do as I do and I say. And if you don't get the result I got, there's clearly something flawed or wrong with you. That is, through the majority of these guru-led group programs, that's what's underlying all of it. And it's gross. It like, honestly, like, you can't see me, but I'm like all jittery because to me, it is just so nasty. It's nasty. Yeah.
It's one of those, I mean, and this has been the thing that is kind of, that was really I think the impetus, the catalyst for me pivoting my brand all those years ago to starting to call this out.
Yes.
Because I would see so many people who genuinely just wanted to be successful.
Yes.
We're hearing these stories and being, pulled in by the marketing. And I will never, ever, 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 ever blame someone or shame someone for believing marketing. That is the purpose of marketing. It is to make people,
100%.
like we're all, myself too, multiple times.
Yes.
Susceptible to marketing because it hits those pain points. It's made to make you feel a certain way. And I think that, I mean, we both have, kids who are in secondary and post-secondary education. And I really think that this is something that as a minimum should be taught everywhere, right? Like how to discern what is really happening in a marketing message. Like how are they trying to manipulate you? And is this really what you want? Because I think the best marketing is the marketing that makes you go, oh, that's interesting. I don't know if I want that, but I kind of do. It's like infomercials. Do you remember the infomercials from the 90s?
Yes.
Like, do I really need a Ronco dehydrator? I kind of think I do because that's really cool. I've never had an apple chip in my life, but I can make them myself now.
Yeah.
If I buy this, like that is online business in a nutshell.
101. Yeah, no, what you're talking about is the critical thinking and the ability to look at some of this very slick marketing. And as an individual, as a female founder, as a leader, is this something I truly need? Yes, I feel desire, right?
Yeah.
Like I feel the pull because I want to have a 6-figure business And doing that in 90 days would be super.
Yeah.
What is the likelihood that that is real? Like, there's the critical thinking piece. Is that possible? Isn't that nice? But what is the reality? Back to your original point. What is the reality that is going to happen?
Yeah. Like if you have a part-time job or a full-time job or kids or, you're a caregiver or you just don't have chronic illness. Like there's so many variables that anybody guaranteeing results for anything should really be questioned a little bit more vigorously.
Yeah.
Because it's not going to work the same for everybody. And I think this is where, if we're talking about leadership, one of the foundations of my own methodology is self-leadership.
Yeah.
And I think that if, because everybody wants to be the visionary, everybody wants to be the out that I'm going to network and I'm going to have all these wonderful people seeing me in the way that I want to be seen. But if you cannot lead yourself first, everything else is pointless.
100%.
You are going to get pulled, hook in the cheek in every direction because you can't stay committed and focused and discern, is this I'd like to have it because it sounds cool FOMO type of thing, or is this going to get me where I need to be?
Yeah.
I have worked with so many visionary leaders and I love them because they have these big, bold ideas and they're willing to go the extra mile to do things that other people maybe have not done. But the amount of reeling in I have to do, right? Okay, cool. And 3 days ago, that's not what you said you wanted. So what is it? Where are we going?
Yeah.
It's that self-leadership piece that's really critical and I think is missing from a lot of leadership conversations.
Again, you and I align on so many of these pieces, but I always say leadership is an inside job.
Yes.
It has to start from the inside out. Who do I want to be? What do I care about most? How do I want to show up and impact my world? And then once I am aligned on those things, once I'm clear about what leadership means to me, then I can go and be a great leader in all sorts of other spaces, in my family, in my community, in my business, in the world, in the conversations I want to have, in the people I want to. But you're so right. It starts on the inside.
It has to. What I call my power circles, right? It looks at the 3 domains of leadership, and self-leadership is right at the core. Yeah. It's at the heart of it.
Yeah.
If you're not a good leader of yourself, you are not going to be a leader of the people. And if you're not a good leader of the people, you cannot bring them on board with your vision.
Yes. Yeah.
And it's all going to start right there. And so that means accountability. It means commitment. It means, sticking to the thing you said you're going to do long after the emotions that were present when you agreed to it have left you.
Yeah.
There's a lot of not fun stuff that comes with being a leader.
Sure.
One of the, I can't remember where I heard this. I think it was in a meeting. I don't know if she was quoting somebody or if she made it up herself, but she said leadership is, disappointing people at a rate they can handle.
I like it.
I just thought that is brilliant. But that's so true because we don't often talk about the cost of clarity as a leader. We don't talk about, when you are really clear on the goal and the purpose and the mission and the path, and you have crystal clarity, you don't often think about what that's going to cost you in terms of disappointing some of the people around you.
For sure.
And so you have to be able to hold yourself accountable and committed to the thing you said you're going to do. When other people are like, are you sure? Or I don't agree. Or that sounds like too much work.
Yeah.
You've heard me talk about the LPC Accelerator. It's where we do the real work. The leadership strategy, the people systems, and culture that actually holds when things get hard. It's part one-on-one coaching, part mastermind, and it's all about helping you lead with clarity, not chaos. If you've been listening and thinking, this is what I've been missing, our next cohort kicks off March the 2nd, and there's a spot for you. If you want to grow without burning out, this is the room to be in. You can send me a DM today to learn more or check out the link in the show notes and it'll take you right to the page.
You know what? I like you, I work with leaders every day and talking about,
yes, as a leader, we have to deliver difficult information. We have to negotiate. We have to coordinate. We actually have to tell people this isn't working. What you're doing isn't aligned. And we have to be comfortable delivering that information, first of all, in a way we can feel confident about it, but also to your point, that other people can really hear it and receive it.
Yeah.
But man, if you're not lined up on the inside, if you're not clear about who you authentically are, because that's an important part too.
Very.
Who you authentically are as a leader and what that means and why that's important to you, it's really hard to deliver.
That's the piece we don't often. So a little bit of context. I taught at business school for 14 years. So I was teaching future leaders. I was teaching, from the textbooks, and I did leadership courses. That was like my domain was what we once called the soft skills of business, along with like entrepreneurship and finance and whatever. But the soft skills is my domain because I love that. And one of the things that I really started to notice over time was that we teach people to be leaders. We don't teach them how to be leaders.
100%. I agree with that wholeheartedly. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that the models that do exist are, number one, outdated. They're very masculine centric. They are focused on competition versus collaboration. So leadership has to look different for women particularly. And I think that, this idea of you can be a really powerful leader and still embody the true identity of who you are.
Yes.
And you know what I mean? Like we go into corporate spaces and other sort of workplaces, and so many women who want that power seat.
Yes.
Will either be hyper masculine, they will be what we call bitchy, whatever. They are aggressive versus, even assertive is not really looked upon nicely as a woman.
No.
Like there's a lot going on. And so they will contort themselves into this weird identity that really isn't who they are, but they think is a nice balance of what everybody expects them to be.
Yes.
And I'm here to say you can actually lead from who you actually are as a person. Like we need to know, like you said, what do you believe in? What are your values? How are you aligned with what the organization is doing, and where do you see it going? And I think if we allow space for women to actually bring that part of themselves into the leadership space, we are going to shift the leadership space so dynamically.
Yes.
But we've got to have people courageous enough to do it, to actually be themselves in leadership positions.
100%. And I think you said it. You got to have the courage.
Yeah.
You really have to be able to fully embrace that in order to be a really, truly impactful leader who is authentic to who they are, you have to be ready to be challenged, to disappoint people, to upset the apple cart, right? To push the boundaries.
Yeah.
I actually worked with a client yesterday, and we are working on some of the opposite stuff, because I do think as women in leadership roles, whether that's in organizations or even in our own business, because often we leave the corporate world to start our own business. We don't want to be that bitchy person. We don't want to be that asshole in the office, and we swing the pendulum the other way and we become a bit of a doormat.
Yeah.
So I'm working with this client yesterday, and this is part of the problem. Right? She's a pleaser, and I'm a pleaser too. Like, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I'm a card carrying member. But we are really working on that. She has to be increasingly more direct, that she has to be able to push back effectively. She's got to be able to hold people accountable instead of what she's doing right now, which is being a glorified babysitter.
Yeah.
Right. We get caught in that trap a lot. And I see that with clients that I work with in business, but clients that are founders, and that, a lot of those women listen to this show, is we end up being a babysitter. And then what we do is we look at ourselves as the bottleneck. Oh, it's my fault. Well, yes and no.
Yeah.
But it's not that you're a control freak. It's that you haven't really embraced your role as the most senior leader in your business or the most senior leader on your team. You got to do that work first.
I think a lot of it stems from we fight so hard to get into those leadership spaces.
Sure we do.
And let's be completely honest, without going down that rabbit hole, we know exactly what we've had to do and who we've had to be to claim some of those leadership spaces, and I think that there is this feeling of, well, now that I'm here, I can't upset the apple cart, like you said, right? Like I have to make sure that I am pleasing everybody and that everybody is happy and that nobody has any complaints about me. I worked with a client a few years ago, and, I helped her build her business. She was making $2,000 a month. We built it to like $1 million business in 2 years. And I'm very proud of that fact. And we got to a point where we were able to bring team members on. And so as her director of operations, one of the things that, was my role was strategy, etc. And she was very much a pleaser as well. And by this point in my career, I'm premenopausal. I'm almost 50. I don't care.
Nope.
Like, I'm going to tell you exactly what you need to hear now. Kind of wish that women could channel this beautiful rage so much sooner in life.
Yes.
But I said to her, there was a team member after we'd had a particularly wonderful strategy session, the leader and I, the founder and I shared the information with the team, and there was a team member who was very upset by the fact that we did not invite her opinion into the strategy going forward for the position or for the organization. And I had to explain to her, like, I'm sorry you feel that way. Like, I understand. And we all value your opinion. However, this was not the appropriate place for it. Like, leadership team drives strategy. Yes. You do this. And so, I had to explain to her what she had to do, what her role was. She took it to the founder. Sarah is too direct. She hurt my feelings. And the leader now is trying to placate the team member.
Yes.
And telling me, who, she's worked with me for over 2 years at this point, you've got to be nicer to people. I'm like, what was not nice about telling somebody what their role was in this organization? So, then I will hold my hand up. I had to backpedal a little bit and go and apologize. And everybody had read the emails and were present to the conversation. I wasn't being overly harsh. Like, it was delivered very kindly. I can do that. I may sound like I'm a little bit, but there was a lot of like, okay, I guess I have to now shrink myself a little bit. And it was such an interesting thing to observe from an out-of-body experience.
Yeah.
Because I shrunk myself to make other people on the team happy.
Yeah. Because
the founder didn't want anybody upset. And almost overnight, I started to hate my job.
Yeah.
Like, it just suddenly became like I would wake up with a stomachache every morning. Because now suddenly I'm not able to be who I authentically am, which to that point, nobody has had a problem with.
Yeah.
But everything has been adjusted for one person's feelings. And it kind of, I think if I have to look at the downfall of our relationship and me leaving that organization, that was the catalyst.
Yeah, for sure.
Asking me as a team leader to now suddenly stop being who I am.
Yeah. To
placate other people. And there's obviously a place for it. Like you have to read the room at times and things like that.
100%.
To ask someone to fundamentally not be who they are. And as leaders, we do this all the time. And this is why I believe so many women are invited into leadership positions, but then do not thrive in them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Man, that is such a tricky situation. And you said something in there that absolutely lit my brain on fire. And it's the word nice. Defining the difference between being nice and being kind. And this is where we get ourselves into trouble, particularly as women in leadership positions. Yeah. We want to be nice. We want everybody to be happy. We want to play nice in the sandbox and share the toys. Yeah. And nice isn't kind. Those two concepts are completely different. Now, do we all need feedback, Sarah? Yes, we do. You need it. I need it. We all need
100%. 100%.
However, when we confuse being kind with being nice,
that is a slippery slope. And it is exactly what you just talked about. We end up on the downhill slide to making someone feel like they're no longer valued for what they bring to the table. Well, then it's over. It's the beginning of the end. But man, we get caught in that nice girl trap a lot, and it screws everything up.
Because what happens is kind of a result of that too, is that if you're placating team members, now the team members realize, consciously or unconsciously, that they have leverage on you.
Yes. Yeah.
Right. And your credibility starts to go out the window. Like, I can honestly tell you, we would have team meetings after that. And that one particular team member constantly went over my head. Yeah. You know, constantly decided that my perspective, my leadership, what I was
no longer valuable.
Was no longer valuable.
Yeah.
And it caused a lot of friction. And so I think that if you can go into a workplace or a leadership role knowing very clearly who you are and what you stand for and how you're going to show up every day.
Yes.
Like, stick to it.
Yeah.
And sometimes you need accountability to help you do that. Sometimes you need mentorship, coaching, leadership, whatever.
Yeah.
But it's about you deciding who you are and how you want to show up. Nobody can do that for you.
No.
Right? You can't, there's no coaching program. There's no investment that you can make that is going to help you decide who you are.
Yeah.
We can help you refine it. We can help you verbalize it and communicate it effectively. But your values are your own.
Well, and if there is someone that is promising you that they can turn you into a leader, you like, everyone who is listening carefully, run away. Like, that's bullshit of the highest order. Don't buy it. Mm-hmm. You are the only one who can define who you are as a leader, mm-hmm. why that's important to you, and what is the impact you want to have.
Yeah.
You are the only one that has the ability to do that because it's an inside job.
Yes.
But this is, Sarah, you said it, like what ends up happening in these organizations, and you saw it from the inside out. I often see it from the outside in, because this is why people hire me. Like, I'm not running my business is running me. And some of that is because my team, you want your team to be invested. Like, I fully believe in that. Part of the LPC method is culture, and culture is about how we do work together. You need your team to be all in, but your team are not running the business, and they're not making the decisions. And if you are allowing them to do that, you have officially become a doormat.
Yeah.
And that's why your
paying
business
an audience. You're paying people to be a captive audience to you doing all the work.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. Like, what are you doing? And that can be hard to adjust. It's possible. I mean, we've certainly had organizations where I've been able to help shift that to a place where everybody feels like they're contributing equally. But yeah, that is when it becomes super problematic. When you have one person or couple people in your organization that feel like they get to dictate to you, you're not running your business anymore. Your business is running you. And that's why you're exhausted and overwhelmed and burnt out.
Bingo. Amen.
Yeah.
Period.
That's why when you're in an organization, that's why you feel dissatisfied and disconnected and undervalued.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And your body will know before your brain realizes it. You know, so start listening to those signals. There's something amiss when you start to feel like this is a drag. I'm not saying you got to enjoy every single day in your business or your job.
No.
Like, that's never going to happen. But if you've got more days than not that are like, I hate this, then it's time for a conversation with yourself.
100%. I was just in my own mastermind last evening, and one of the members that's what she's struggling with. She recognizes she's the bottleneck. And as we're helping her, through some of these pieces, and she's like, well, there's this piece and I'm the only one that does it, but I guess I could give that away. And I was like, hang on a second. Is that actually work you really like to do? Like, is that what you like, is that the stuff that gives you joy and fulfillment? And she's like, well, yeah, but I could give it away. And I'm like, well, if you give all the stuff you like to do away, then what's the point? Like, hang on. And I'm not saying that might not be the end piece, but like, I think there's more thought here. And if you're like that, if you're giving it all away, then what are you doing? You got to ask, again, back to the critical thing. You got to ask yourself, what's going on here?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Sarah Khan, thank you. We could go on for like 2 more hours, but that's a really long podcast. thank you so much for this. I think this has just been a really enlightening conversation. You've really inspired me this morning. My brain is just whirring away. Hope everyone that's listening is whirring away. Where do we go to find you?
Oh gosh, I'm on all the socials as Sarah Khan Out Loud. And I'm primarily on Instagram and LinkedIn, but I would love for you to come hang out with me there. You can also find my Substack, Sarah Khan Out Loud. It's called Redefining Power Out Loud. You can search either of those terms and you'll find me. I'm sort of taking a step more into like just educating and talking about and helping people shift perspectives. And I would love to connect with any of your listeners and continue the conversation because that's my favorite thing to do.
Yeah. Your writing is incredible. I've read some of your Substack and I always enjoy it. It is what Sarah does is provocative. Just to be clear, she's actually toned it down here for us today. But what Sarah does is provocative. It is intended to evoke strong emotion. And I find myself like out loud saying, hell yeah, or oh no, or what is she doing here? Like, that's the whole idea with this woman is that she wants to provoke you. So if you're ready for that, you need to go and follow her and read her Substack.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And it's never with the intention of provoking. It's with the intention of, I am provocative. I do agree.
Yes.
But it's because I fully believe that we need to shift the paradigms that we are in if we're ever to actually have the change that we all need so desperately.
Thank you for clarifying that because it's not provocative just to be a jerk. It's provocative with intention.
Yes.
And that is like not just to light a fire and walk away, but light a fire and then let's see what we grow. And that's what I love about you. It's always with the best behind it and thoughtfully articulated. So thank you. Awesome. Thank you so much, Sarah, for your time. It's been such a pleasure having you on the show today.
Thank you, my friend.
Thanks for tuning into this episode of Female Founder Unplugged. If today's conversation resonated with you, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Connect with me on Instagram at High Volt Leadership and send me your questions or let me know your biggest takeaway. Looking for more strategies on scaling your business, building a powerhouse team, or leading with confidence? Head over to highvoltageleadership.ca or follow me on LinkedIn for exclusive content, resources, and special offers just for listeners. Until next time, keep leading, keep learning, and remember, the real magic happens when you're unplugged.
This podcast is produced, mixed, and edited by Cardinal Studio. For more information about how to start your own podcast, please visit www.cardinalstudio.co or email Mike at mike@cardinalstudio.co. You can also find the details in the show notes.